Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
Now we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
Back. Now we're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go. Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. This is for those of you that are down in the circle sickness of paranormal. Do you know what I'm saying? It's paranormal chat. I almost said pornormal. It's not a pornormal chat. You know what I'm saying? Cat's like dying. Hang on a second. For some reason her mic is muted. I have no idea why.
Oh, I didn't know it was on.
Oh, was it? I was like, why are you muted? What's going on?
Sorry.
We are back. I know we've been gone for like 400 years, right? It's been like 8,000 years or something.
It's been more, it feels like.
It's been like quarantine feels like it's been at least 25 years minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
Great
to be back though.
Been a long road. We're late because I literally did forget how to stream. Like I actually forgot a password to some of the stuff, and I'm like, It's been so long. I don't even know. What's going on. So, here we are. How are you, Kat? How is New Hampshire, and how are you surviving quarantine, my love?
Barely surviving, feels like.
Yeah.
But after the, freezing warnings and then the hailstorm and then the tornado,
Yeah.
I'm ready to move to Vegas. I'm ready.
Speaking of tornadoes, why don't we chat about that for a second? You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's do it.
Kat was almost Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
And she, I grew up in Colorado, which honestly, Colorado has tornadoes, mainly the east side of Colorado, which is like the Kansas side. But you do get them once in a while in Denver. Usually they don't pick up very much because they need that like flat land to really get going. But yeah, like all the houses in Denver have basements because of tornadoes. And Kat was like, so I've never been in a tornado, so can you help me? She's like, you're getting warnings, right? Like you're getting warned, like. How did it go?
It went. Krystal and I were literally on FaceTime for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it was me just showing her video of what it looked like outside, and she couldn't even see it because it was pitch black outside. So
she was like running back and forth across her house on the phone with me. She's
so
like,
windy.
"Oh my god, what's gonna happen if a tornado?" I was like, "Okay."
But fun fact: apparently, there's a tornado. I didn't know that you're supposed to get into like your bathtub.
Yep.
And put a mattress over you.
Well, considering you're not in a place where they pre-build like basements and like cellars, yeah. I mean, that's your only option.
And my first thought was, where am I gonna put my yarn? Because I'm not playing. I will choose my yarn over
Kat
my own life.
only cared about the yarn in her tornado. She cared about nothing else. She was like, what's gonna happen to my yarn? Like, I'm gonna have to throw it in bags. And I was like, Kat, if you can like only fit in the bathtub, like I don't want you might have to like say goodbye to your yarn. She's like, no, I won't.
I was very stressed thinking about what would happen to all that yarn.
Oh my god.
It's fine, but we made it, and it didn't end up happening.
Yeah, so it literally missed you, and it went over Boston a little bit.
It literally skipped over New Hampshire. Like, Krystal went to look, and she sent me a screenshot of the weather radar, and it was like red everywhere else around New Hampshire. I was like, thank you.
It's so weird because literally the state of New Hampshire is so little anyway, if you guys don't know. And like it, for some reason, I think like you manifested that into the universe so hard, like, don't take my yarn, that literally it was like your guides were like, okay, Kat, this time we're skipping it, okay? Like you're safe with the yarn. So yeah, it was pretty funny. So I guess we should kind of talk about where we've been and what we've been doing.
And let's do it.
I wasn't really planning on taking a break. I'm gonna be honest. Like there wasn't really any plans to take a break. I just kind of did, and I guess I was just sort of going with the flow. It was my decision to do it, obviously. I mean, I've taken some time off in the past, but never in a sense of the way I did it, at this moment. And, so we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about where we've been and what we've been doing with our time in quarantine. Then we're going to talk about a little bit of destination fear. We're going to chat about some controversial things they've said in some interviews lately.
Some tea. We have some tea for y'all.
Mm-hmm. We have some tea, which I think will affect everyone that's a paranormal investigator. I think there's going to be a lot of like question marks popping up all over. And last, we're going to chat about some aliens, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because, I mean, what else? What else you can talk about during quarantine? Freaking aliens.
It's horrible. It's a horrible rabbit hole to be going down.
Well, that one, actually, this one wasn't too bad. Honestly, that part of the chat's going to be fun. Because we have changed some beliefs and perspectives on that. And I'm kind of excited to share that with you guys. So anyway, quarantine. How's everybody doing? Are you alive? Are you alive? I mean, barely, right? Like, barely. We don't want to talk too much about specifically quarantine and COVID because it became a hot political topic overnight, as everything does in the United States. If you fart, you have to determine if it is Republican or Democrat, just for the record. So anyway, we don't want to get into that because it's just annoying. I'll just say I have asthma and Kat has asthma. We don't want no Rona. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, no
Kat's
Rona.
like no.
No to the Rona.
No to the Rona. She needs to
I
get
will
out of
stay
here. By the
inside.
way, I'm over the Rona. She needs to just get to stepping on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's
True.
got time for this. So regarding quarantine, so I accidentally, you know, like I'm just gonna be real. I've touched on this a little bit, here and there, but the last year to the year and a half of my life has been very, very chaotic. Like I'm always very transparent with you guys about everything that's going on, and one of the, you know, it kind of started when Harley got sick, my dog, and that was like really traumatic. Right when I lost him, I was just like totally torn apart. And I kind of got on this like really weird sort of merry-go-round that I couldn't get off of for like a year to a year and a half. And I knew something had to change because I just couldn't keep going that way. And when I say merry-go-round, it turned into a sense of me taking care of everybody around me. And I had completely neglected myself, like totally, like wasn't taking care of myself to way I should have been. And that includes like taking care of my mom because she had a triple bypass, which is like one of the most major surgeries you can ever have. She's still she had another surgery during quarantine. She had a major foot surgery. She's doing well. But she's, you know, technically temporarily wheelchair bound until she can start walking again, which won't be till mid to late June because she has to let her foot heal. So I've had to step in and help a lot with that. And then, you know, moving fast forward, I talked openly about Blake having some severe mental health issues during our relationship. And I neglected myself to help with that. And then, you know, Chanel had moved in with me. And of course, she was our sister. And unfortunately, Chanel also dealt with some severe mental health issues. And I was also taking care of her. And it became this weird cycle where I was just everybody's caregiver all of a sudden. And it wasn't planned. But I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, this has to stop. I don't know what's going on. Like, my mother is one thing because that's my mom. But I still needed to learn some boundaries. And, like, it was really, like, leveling up spiritually and pushing myself in a new direction where I really just learned how to stop and love myself first. Because, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. And I think that's one of those things you have to come to conclusions on your own. Nobody would have been able to help me with that till I got to that point. And so when quarantine started, I really wasn't planning on taking time off, as you guys know. Like, I was planning on getting back on my new YouTube channel and pushing other videos. And all of a sudden, I was just like, I don't know, this just seems like a really good time. It's like a forced planet reset. It's a forced everything reset. And so I was like, okay, so I had to relearn some things, relearn how to love myself. And what I mean by that is, like, really committing to even more exercise, eating clean. I had gained a lot of weight from the stress of taking care of people around me. Luckily, I carry my weight well, so I don't think it was very visible, but it couldn't continue anymore. I was like, I'm just done with this. Like, I also, when you carry extra weight, at least in my sense, it's almost like you're still carrying that baggage with you, like the baggage of Chanel or the baggage of Blake or the baggage of my mom. And I knew that I had to stop. Like, it wasn't serving me. It never was serving me. So I went into high drive of, like, just loving myself. I started, I've always wanted to learn Italian. I've been working on it, and now I've been really rigorously daily studying Italian lessons. I've been journaling a lot. Kat and I both. We've leveled up to a ridiculous point at this point spiritually, don't you think? Like,
yeah, it's been an incredible experience, actually. It really has.
You want to talk about some of the things you've been working? Like, we both stemmed off of each other. I feel like we were like, okay, well, why don't we both level up together? And I mean, very separately. Yeah. Obviously, we're on opposite sides of the country, but we both worked on ourselves, and it's been crazy.
Yeah, it's really different when you surround yourself with people that are also on that spiritual journey with you. You know, I think it's really important because you can be authentic with each other. You know, we're all human. We all have bad days and we have good days, and we're there to pick each other up, but we're also there to help, you know, motivate each other to be better than we were before. And it's just such a healthy coping mechanism with everything going on right now with this virus and everything. But yeah, I've been I made a YouTube video about it a little bit yesterday. Or what the heck is today? Is today Saturday? Today's Saturday.
Every day of quarantine. What day is it? I don't know.
Literally. I uploaded a video yesterday on my YouTube channel. And the biggest thing that I've been kind of working on spiritually on my journey has been of some recent news that I got through a psychic, one that Krystal and I both have actually spoken with and had separate readings with. Her name's Maria, and she's wonderful. And she had given me some information that I was meditating on regarding my spiritual path and some possible mediumship abilities that will be happening in the near future. And that's been the biggest thing that I've been working on right now is, you know, I had a lot of questions. It was a little overwhelming. I felt like I needed to know everything at once. And for me, on my end, I needed to just slow the heck down. I mean, there are so many phone conversations I even had with Krystal about, like, I want to know this, or what if it's this, or what if I'm, you know, too scared, or, you know, what is it going to be like? And, you know, it just really helps to have really grounding friends to kind of help you see a different perspective and to just trust that it's all going to work out fine in the best timing. So that's been kind of what's been going on my end, and just really getting back into some meditation practices when I'm having a bad day or I'm having a influx of emotion. But it's been really wonderful. It's been really healing. And especially with this new moon coming up as well, there's been a lot of releases that have been happening in the past 2 days regarding like family. And it's been really wonderful. So I really have no complaints over here. It's just sometimes it gets you when you're in quarantine. I really miss traveling. I really miss Vegas. I really miss Krystal and the dogs. And Krystal's mom.
Cat's like, I just want to get on the plane and go, and I can't because Rona's there.
Like,
you know?
it was so strange because it hits me randomly sometimes. I had like a little crying moment this morning because I just really feel like kind of caged up. I feel like I'm in a cage, I guess is the best way to explain it. And it's not in a bad way because I'm utilizing my time fine with my business and, you know, doing social media stuff with Krystal and, you know, chatting about GGD and all that. But it's hard. I mean, I travel out to Vegas three, four times a year. Yeah. And by now this probably would have been my second time in Vegas. So it's been a roller coaster, but it's been more good than bad. So I'm grateful.
And that's the part of like the self-help love journey, that grounding that we've done. We're actually at a point where she'll call me or I'll call her, and we will literally speak the same sentence at the same time. And we haven't talked to each other all day. It's happening constantly.
Yeah.
And we're both like, I'm just really creeped out at this point. It's just really weird.
Or like, we'll be thinking about the other person and I'll call, and it was just when she was picking up the phone to call me. Like, it's just some of those really weird instances.
Or yesterday you were like, I left my phone in the bedroom, and I was like, I better go grab it. And right when you picked it up, I called. Like,
yeah. So funny.
Creepy.
So funny.
So yeah, I've just been, you know, like learning to love myself again, and that's hard when you've neglected yourself for so long. So I encourage anybody out there, like I think Nicole just said that you just lost your husband about a week ago from heart failure. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I understand what you're going through, because my mom, obviously, she crossed over a few times during her heart surgeries. I'm actually going to bring her on as a guest, which I think is going to be very interesting. She has agreed to do it. Good. And I want her to talk about not only how weird her kid is, you know what I'm saying, like, but also just the experiences that she's had crossing over and coming back. I think will be really cool. But yeah, you know, anytime anybody's going through something hard, and that includes, you know, quarantine, like I think that I've seen some things say like quarantine, before Rona gets you, your mental health is, because you're isolated and you're by yourself, and you can start having some really weird thoughts, and so you just have to keep yourself in check, and you have to figure out how you can keep yourself in check, whether that's bigger possibilities of therapy or finding it within yourself. So anyway, yeah, I've had some big changes, and I'm still working on it, and even like spiritually and I don't want to say religiously, but like we've changed some perspectives on like ghosts and stuff. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Good talk.
I think we needed this time to just pause and be like, okay, now we're ready for that. I knew that I didn't want to jump back into streaming until I was really, really, really ready. So here we are, and everything should be going right back to normal now with our streams. So anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm just really excited to be back. I really think that we did need the time to just kind of, settle with ourselves and go through the feelings of life in this quarantine, and especially Krystal having been through so much. And, sometimes it's just a nice reset to just sit and be with ourselves.
Yeah. You have to learn to love yourself and learn to like yourself, and that's uncomfortable sometimes.
It's true, but we've thought of you guys so much throughout this whole process. We always have said that we miss you guys so much, and we were so excited to get back into streaming and chatting with you guys, and we're really excited to be here.
Yes, and now we're ready for some tea. Do you have your tea?
Yep, and we're ready for the tea. I do have my tea. I think it's almost done, though, but it's fine. I'll just pretend. It's fine.
I have mine. It's actual tea, by the way.
Oh, mine's coffee, actually, but I mean...
So... this is interesting here. Where do we start? Destination Fear obviously got renewed for season 2. That was the beginning of quarantine. Congratulations to them. Dakota's producer on it. Zach's EP, great. I watched the first episode, and I'm gonna be honest, it was just like there were some things I wanted to like improve, because that's usually what the wiggle room is for like season 1, is like you get a bigger budget and you can change things up a little bit. And then when, like, the first season of season 2 first episode season 2 came out, I was kind of like, we're still, like, there's a few things I still just, like, from a filmmaker, I'm like, a little cringy about.
It was like this much. It was like this much.
But
so
it was
close.
enough for me to be like, if it's on TV, I'll watch it, but I'm not going to, like, make an effort to go watch it when it comes on type of thing. So they did an interview with Daily Dead. I have the interview pulled up right now. You found this interview first, right, Kat?
I did, yeah. Dakota had linked it, and it was the intro, or the title, excuse me, that really intrigued me to read it. And you can find it. We can link it too on our our social media and stuff if you guys
want
to.
I'll send it in right now.
But the interview title says, cast of Destination Fear talk season 2, what sets them apart and not labeling themselves as paranormal investigators. And I was like, all right, I need to check this out. I'm going to read it and I'm going to check it out and see what's going on. Because I feel like the biggest thing that Krystal and I were confused with when it came to Destination Fear was there was no real consistency as to what they were doing. Were they paranormal investigators going to these locations for that reason? Or were they, urban explorers? Or, it would just seem to not like have a streamline of consistency. And I think that this interview kind of answered some of our questions regarding what the heck's going on.
Which also doesn't really line up with what they're portraying, which still leaves me a bit confused.
Well, there's still a lot of questions. I mean, it answered the questions that we thought regarding paranormal investigation. I guess we'll just leave it at that for now until we get there.
I still have more questions now that this interview's been done.
I still have all the questions. It's fine.
But I don't think I'm going to get an answer. I think I'm gonna anyway. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
So they basically are doing this interview with Daily Dead, and they're talking about season 2. It's Alex he wasn't really a part of this, was he? Like, I didn't see any really responses from Alex. Did you?
No. I don't even think he said anything. Yeah, I don't think he said anything.
Well,
it was just Tanner and Chelsea.
I think Alex is one of the best in my opinion.
Me too.
That's just my opinion.
I love him. He's
so
awesome.
Let's see, where do we start? You know what I mean? I feel like we should just skip down to the title of the article, which is not labeling themselves as paranormal investigators.
Right.
Now, before we even read that part, what does that mean exactly? I mean, looking at the show, urban exploration, if that's what they were doing, was just straight up urban exploration, they wouldn't have any sort of like paranormal gear with them. They might be communicating, but would they really be trying a scare tactic by trying to stay alone in a 16,000 square foot asylum? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they're trying to not label themselves as investigators, I don't think that they should have any paranormal equipment then, because
Agreed.
that's confusing. You know, like that's part of the inconsistency that we were seeing, that we were like, well, wait a minute, why are you only using the same 3 pieces of equipment? It's like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? And then seeing this just made it a little bit more confusing. But we'll get to that when we read it. It's you guys really won't understand until we read it, and it's going to kind of be a little mind-blowing. And we're not even talking about this to kind of like talk the talk. You know what I mean? I guess it's just really important to make sure that, especially if you're signed or you're a series, that you're really careful with how you answer some of these questions.
I'm going to start off by saying that I think that they're young and they probably haven't done a lot of press.
True.
I'm also going to say that by the way they responded in this interview, I think they are trying to play both sides of the field. And by that, I mean possibly make paranormal people happy and also make urban exploration people happy.
Yeah,
and
they're playing safe card, for sure.
They can't really sure where to like fully land. They're like, I think they're afraid to like knock any chess pieces over on either side. So they're just sort of staying in the middle. And there's a problem with that. You know, like I've said this before, like when you're a public figure and you have thousands or millions of followers, sometimes it's worse if you ignore politics than just take a side. Not that you have to take a side per se, but just talk about what your beliefs are. And that's kind of the same with this. Like if you have a lot of people that are following and supporting you, the executive producer of your series is the biggest EP in the industry, you're going to have to pick a side, boo-boo. Like you can't make people happy. And unfortunately, like I guess that's how you learn the hard way, is kind of putting your foot in your mouth, right? And I feel like that's been done here. So basically, they're stating that they are not paranormal investigators because paranormal investigators use expensive, fancy equipment, okay? And the reason they don't want to be titled paranormal investigators is because some of that equipment is cognitively really hard for Joe Schmo from Kokomo to use off the street.
Right.
And they don't want to intimidate people who can't investigate using, I assume, something like an SLS or a tri-field meter. They don't want to intimidate just nobody thinking that you have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on paranormal equipment. Therefore, they are not titling themselves paranormal investigators. So I'm just sitting here like, what?
Yeah. Well, and that was the biggest thing, because when Krystal and I are reading this, I'll read Chelsea's answer just because it's short. And she said, quote, "One thing we wanted to do and an image we wanted to paint and the story we wanted to tell was that first person experience. We wanted to create an environment that everyone can relate to. We don't consider ourselves paranormal investigators, but we wanted to be the eyes for the everyday person that can do this." And I guess the other half of that made me a little bit concerned was like, you know, be careful, because you also don't want everyday people to just be going into abandoned buildings and like hurting themselves. You know what I mean?
Once again, I said this to you on the phone, okay? If you Google, you Google urban exploration, right? All kinds of crazy YouTube videos come up. And oftentimes they will sometimes run into weird people, maybe homeless people living in there, maybe a dangerous situation, fall through floorboards. So I also feel like urban exploration shouldn't really be promoted either, because that's really dangerous. That's like very much like at your own risk type of thing. But also from like a filmmaker's perspective, you don't want people who are like amateur paranormal investigators thinking they can just go break in a building because it's like an abandoned building. Yeah. If you die in there, no one will find you, and it's also trespassing, and you'll get a very hefty ticket and or go to jail. Right. So it's like I'm confused what they're trying to promote here. It's very strange. So literally verbatim, they say we do not consider ourselves paranormal investigators. I also feel like that is poo-pooing the entire paranormal industry.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I do. And Tanner was the one that actually said it, which kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, wow, I really like Tanner. You know what I mean? But he said, we wanted to have a happy medium of having obtainable equipment, which is what you said earlier, Krystal, so that when people watch the show, they can feel like they can go out and do the exact same thing as us. If we had some gear that was too high tech, some people might be able to relate because they've never seen it or used it. We want to stick to the simple stuff. And I guess that was the thing that kind of threw us off the edge, was like, what do you mean it's too high tech? Like, if you're a paranormal investigator, that's what you're going to buy. Like, that's what you're going to do.
If you're a paranormal investigator, you nerd out for equipment. Like, you nerd out for it. Yeah.
But it just still doesn't make sense, because if they're trying to, you know, promote an infrared camera or digital recorder or an Ovilus, but they're not investigators, so I don't really understand still what. I don't get it.
Well,
I don't
also, Chelsea said something weird in the interview too. She said, I don't know where it is exactly. It was something to the degree of, I'm reading through it right now. They asked what pieces of equipment were their favorite, and Chelsea said, I like the Ovilus because it comes through with this creepy voice. So the concern I have with that is that they don't even know how to describe paranormal equipment accurately. But if you're talking about taking away the quote more difficult paranormal pieces, the Ovilus is like $300 or $400 piece of equipment, and that's complicated. I mean, there's only like a 2,000 word dictionary depending on which Ovilus that you're using. And she's making it sound like there's just random words coming through. She hasn't been taught that it's electromagnetic fields in the area that you're using it are creating and manipulating those words in the dictionary. And if you get something like a name, names don't exist in the Ovilus. So I guess I'm just confused why she thinks that's like an easy piece of equipment, because it's actually not. It's a very complicated piece of equipment that Bill Chappell created.
Yeah. I guess here's my other question too for you, Krystal. Would you consider Destination Fear a paranormal show? And it's a hard question, because it's like, I just don't understand.
I mean, they do have, like, it's, you know, it is minimally paranormal, like when they're like sleeping or whatever. But really, they are just sort of urban exploring through there. Like, even when, like, they make them each go in, like, alone for a little bit, then they split up at night. And so it is more urban exploration. But if that's what they're sticking to, then they shouldn't be. I don't know. It just sounds like they don't really have the urgency to find, like, ghosts or communicate with them. So I guess I'm confused why they're going to haunted locations. And my other question is, just because my, like, psychological aspect is going to step in here, because I'm really effing knowledgeable on this field. If they're going to promote themselves stating that we are trying to push ourselves to the edge and the boundaries of what it does to your psyche when you're staying alone in these haunted, abandoned locations, we want to see how you're pushing the psyche. The only thing we're seeing in reaction is screams from Chelsea. So how are you proving that you're pushing yourself to the limit? Because if you're trying to scientifically push your psyche being in a scared, haunted, dark location, then I would like to see some sort of data showing me that that's what's happening. Because as of right now, I'm not seeing any data. I'm just seeing random screams from Chelsea, running once in a while from Tanner, Alex throwing up, and, you know, someone being pinched on the butt.
I guess what would make more sense too is if they maybe use like an iWatch or something that could detect like heart rate. You know what I mean? If you're wanting to see fear, or, you know,
amen. Yes.
You know, like, utilize that, and that is a very clear distinction with what you're doing. That's still using equipment in a creepy haunted location,
right?
Because I mean, a lot of these locations, they have had some really amazing things happen. You know, they've had DVPs and really cool things with like the digital recorder and stuff. But I feel like it would make more sense if they're having a reaction that, or, you know, an incident that they weren't expecting, and then seeing the fear aspect of it from a scientific standpoint of a heart rate going up or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that would be clear, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. That's different.
Or even like, you could even do like, you know, using the electromagnetic fields, especially around Chelsea, because she screams. So are
Yes.
the electromagnetic field bouncing because she's so scared and screaming, or is it because of the location and like there's actual activity going on? There's ways to use EMFs to measure levels, not just with ghosts, but with like the human body. You can
It's
do
true.
that. You know what I mean? And if
Yep.
that's what their gimmick is like going in urban exploration, I want to see how far I can push ourselves. All I'm seeing is screams right now, and I'd like to see something else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point of your gimmick? You know what I'm saying?
It's true. Yeah. And I think the thing that maybe gets it confusing is the fact that they're talking about ghost adventures in their intro still.
Ugh.
And Zach Bagans. And I think that's the huge...
Gag me with Satan's pitchfork,
I think
please.
I'm just still confused with that. Like, just don't put it in. You know what I mean? Or, you know, he's part of the credits. Like, leave him in the
Well, I
credits,
guess
okay?
that's another reason I'm kind of confused. That, okay, Zach's in the intro, and then he's also the executive producer because money talks, okay? Fine. But do you realize you're saying you're not a paranormal investigator, yet, like, the biggest EP is who's, like, funding your shit?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he is a paranormal investigator, so I'm just confused what you're saying here. So I don't know what's going on. I
don't think they know.
No.
I'll be honest, like the way that they sometimes they talk about the show, especially from season 1 when Dakota was doing a lot of interviews talking about it, he didn't really seem confident in it.
Right.
And I don't think it was so much from a filming standpoint. Now that I'm reading this article and seeing season 2, I genuinely don't think he knows the direction that the show is going in. And I don't mean that in a mean way.
Right.
I just mean maybe they're still playing with it. You know what I mean?
He's also
like,
supposed to be like the only producer on set, which I have a lot of concerns on, considering Alex was throwing up by himself in the middle of a gigantic location
oh my God,
and ended up
so
having
bad.
to go to the hospital. That tells me as a producer he's not doing his job very well. And that's a huge liability. Like, if Alex was sick and was throwing up and died and fell through the floor, like Larry said, there's mold on the walls, there's all kinds of weird things in these abandoned buildings that you can die from. He could have been having just a regular reaction from God knows what's in there, black mold, asbestos, we don't know. And then they weren't communicating with him. We're having a problem here. Like, this person could have died, and like that would have been on the network. Like, Travel Channel and the production company would have been responsible for his death, and there probably would have been a lot of suing happening. And I don't find it responsible. If Dakota is the only producer on set, then they need to get another producer on set to make sure everybody's safe. If he cannot handle that responsibility, which clearly he can't, because Alex was so sick he had to go to the hospital and nobody knew where he was and they couldn't find him, then clearly they need somebody on set that can take the responsibility on as a producer and make sure that everyone's safe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying too earlier. I was watching that episode and I was like, there's so many red flags. It's so bad.
Now,
so
as
bad.
a producer, how do you feel about that? Because you've been, like, obviously trained to be a producer. How do you feel about it?
Really uncomfortable. Honestly, it was really hard for me to get through that. I'm literally sitting in front of the television. I'm like, oh my god, this is happening right now. I cannot believe this is happening. I literally almost felt panicked for them because I was like, oh my, it's supposed to go smooth, you know? And I'm sorry, but if you're in Hillview Manor locations, episode 4 of season 2, and you know, it's 63,000 square feet, and you don't check to make sure that Alex has a walkie, there's a problem with that.
Yeah,
Clearly.
but that's a producer problem. The producers make sure, you have to make sure every single walkie's on the same channel.
Yep.
You have to make
You
sure there's a
double-check.
home base and people are being watched because God knows what could happen. Like, you could trip and fall, bust the walkie. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You're in the dark. You're scared. You can get discombobulated. You can't find your way out. People need to know where you are. And like this is proven. It's just it's not safe.
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, as soon as I saw that Alex was getting, you know, upset and was feeling sick, and then he got sick and he was trying to look for the walkie, and Dakota walkied him, and they heard the walkie behind them for Alex, I was like, oh my god, that's it. Like, I if I were a producer on set and saw that, but let Dakota handle it, I'd be like, oh my god, this show's gonna be canned. It's gonna be canned. That's it. Done. Like, that is not acceptable at all. That's not good.
Well, no,
and it doesn't help
safety
that they don't
and you're
sweep the
talking a
building.
massive place, guys. You're not talking like a manor of like 10 bedrooms even, or even Stanley Hotel is like, I think you could deal with it. This is like thousands and thousands of square feet, like gigantic hospital size, like asylum places.
Well, and we're also into season 2, and they're still not sweeping these buildings.
Right? Why?
They're not.
I know. So what's sweeping means that from a producer standpoint?
Meaning you just go through with security and you make sure that there's no homeless people living in there. There's no people around the location. You know, if there's any bad
Psychos
area.
may
wanna
not even
film
be
there.
homeless. It could just be kids breaking in. They have knives,
Right.
guns, who knows? Maybe they're arsons. I don't know. It
Maybe
is
they
not.
need
And
security
then you
with
wait till nightfall happens. Not safe. Not safe.
They walk in at night. They
Yeah.
literally, and with all that gear, you know, they set up a gear room for oh my gosh, can you imagine if someone went in there and stole it? Oh my gosh, I'm having a freak out.
You're like, I'm having an out of body
I'm getting caught about it. Oh my god. But really, you know, it's just, that was really uncomfortable.
Oh, we have a couple of questions here. Nikita asked, do you think Chelsea's screams scare off the spirits?
Oh, she probably honestly manifests more. Honestly, it probably amps up their energy to make more noise because they want that. You know,
it could be both. It depends on the location. I would assume if you're in an asylum and you're screaming, you're giving them energy to manifest.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
you're in somewhere like a prison, they might get scared, but then they're going to know where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like in the afterlife, there's no jail cells. So you're also you're creating a beacon for yourself of saying, come get me. I'm here by myself. So yeah, she's making a lot of mistakes by screaming in more than one way. Jessica said, I don't understand the let's go to another haunted place just to read a few pages about the location. Oh, let's talk about that. Thank you, Jessica. That's a perfect segue to where we're going next.
Oh my gosh, perfect. I can't.
You know what this show reminds me of? The 1999, there was a show called MTV Fear that came out. Except they were actual, like, amateurs to, like, paranormal and, like, haunted locations. Like, they weren't, like, even as trained as, like, Chelsea and them. At least they have a season under their belt. But it reminds me of that, because that's what they did. They would send them in alone, and they would just scream and run the whole time. And sometimes that's what Destination Fear looks like to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're not doing these locations justice. Like, you're getting access to an awesome location, and you don't even have to use equipment. Like, you can probably get plenty of, you know, EVPs or DVPs just by sitting there in the dark and, like, trying to communicate, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about Jessica's little comment here. So, in the interview, Dakota claims that another thing that makes them different, them as in Destination Fear, is that they do not do voiceovers. That they strictly read from, like, the scripted dark envelope that they hand at each location, which I can't stand it. I'm going to be real. From a producer standpoint, I can't stand that they're reading them. And I mean, they're getting better at them to not sound so monotone, but, like, you can't help it when you're reading something from a page to not sound monotone. Like, that's part of practicing with voiceover work. Kat and I, the last 2 episodes, or 3 episodes. 2 episodes?
2. Yeah.
Kat and I found some voiceovers, didn't we, Kat?
We did. And
so Dakota claims they don't do voiceovers, but they do voiceovers. And, okay, here's the thing. Okay, what I think Dakota meant to say was, you know, Zach travels, and, like, I've seen, like, him post on, like, Snapchat or social media, whatever, that he, like, sets himself up this little, like, hollow box area, and if he's traveling, he has to do voiceovers for an episode, he sits in this little thing, and, like, we actually have a traveling sound box as well that we use if we need it for on the road, okay? That's technically an official voiceovers. You'll, like, set up your laptop and you have your mic plugged into the laptop and you're doing voiceovers. They need to sound very clear and crisp, and sometimes you have to re-record them 10 times, right? That is technically a voiceover, but there are other kinds of voiceovers. And what happened was they were talking to the camera, and all of a sudden the camera cuts and it goes to, like, B-roll footage, and they're talking over the B-roll footage. Whether that was done in the motorhome, whether that was done on location and they're just talking in the camera, that is still a voiceover, Dakota. That is still a voiceover. Just because you're not in the studio or you don't have a sound box set up, you're still doing voiceovers. So don't say you're not doing voiceovers and that's what sets you apart, because you are doing voiceovers. There are voiceovers, and we found two episodes, Kat and I both, right? I mean, I found the first episode. It was, I think, episode 3, and then you said or was it 2? Episode 2 or 3?
2. It was 2.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to add to that?
I mean, I guess the other thing was that I found it very strange that he brought up voiceover, because the question that was asked was, there are so many different paranormal shows out there. What do you think Destination Fear brings to the table that's different from any other paranormal show? And I feel like the voiceover comment from Dakota was probably meant for us because we had mentioned that prior.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if viewers were watching it, maybe they know, maybe they don't.
Didn't he
I
say
don't think
something
they're
about we don't have a random voice come out of the sky telling you what to do? But wait
Right.
a second.
Well-
Your boss is Zach Bagans, and that's what he does. So be careful
It's
talking
true.
smack when your boss has done that for the last 20 seasons, and I'm pretty sure that it's been pretty successful for him. So be careful
Yeah.
how you word things here, buddy.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and the fact that, you know, I don't think that a lot of paranormal fans or people that watch the show are going to think, oh, you know, he's not doing voiceovers. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that's a very random thing to say about what sets you apart.
You're right.
And I
Like,
feel like
you
that
can't
shouldn't
say,
be
you know what he should have said? We have a female investigator. It's the very first major female investigator on show. Bam.
Yep.
There's what
Yep.
sets us apart. We have Chelsea.
Yep.
She might scream. She's a screamer. But we have Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't know why they brought up voiceovers. I feel like that's just that's why I felt like it was pointed at our conversations
Yep.
when I read it, because I feel like that was just very random to throw into the interview.
So
But
the question was from Nikita, what would be better than them reading from the packets? Well, my question is for you guys. Do you like them reading from the packets? Because I think it looks like a cheese ball. I don't think it looks professional. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think it looks professional. I think that if they don't want to read from the packets, there's two ways to do it. If they want to do voiceover work, that's one. If they don't want to do voiceover work, they can just try to memorize some of the information and have an organic conversation sitting in the damn RV. I feel like that's not that hard.
right.
I mean, you're just
I mean,
memorizing statistics. We have to do that anyways for locations. Like, just memorize the statistics and then talk about it organically with each other.
It's true. It's true. I think that the act of giving like the black packet, you know, to them is one thing. You know, like I think that's fine, but I think it should also be incorporating voiceover.
Right.
You know, maybe showing him give the black packet to them, but then do
Okay,
shoot
that's a good
B-roll
one to
and
do
then
it. Yeah,
voiceover.
then he's telling the story as they're reading through the packet. Okay.
Exactly. So
But
you
I
kind
just
of have
think,
like a theatrical
I
thing.
don't know, from a filmmaker standpoint, I cringe with the packet because it doesn't look professional to me. I don't think Dakota takes himself serious as a filmmaker. That's what I think. I think he is still stuck in the mindset of being a YouTuber and a YouTuber only. And he needs to give himself some credit because not only does he have Destination Fear under his belt, but he's been working with Ghost Adventures for a while. So, like,
Yeah.
he needs to work on his confidence because that's part of the problem here. Is that his confidence isn't up. And like, dude, you are a filmmaker. You're not an aspiring filmmaker anymore. You are a filmmaker. So start presenting yourself and making your shit look a little bit more professional because you are a damn filmmaker now.
True. You're in season 2.
Yeah.
Somebody said, Jessica said it looks childish to me, and someone else said looks like homework.
Yeah, Emma said, I do not like it. It feels like amateur YouTube video. And, you know, and that's what he needs to break away from. Another thing that I don't like still, film-wise, is I don't like the vlog footage.
No.
Where
That's
they're
very
holding the
YouTube-y.
camera right here, and they literally turn the camera on themselves, and that's YouTube-y. And look, I'm a YouTuber. And I'm a YouTuber, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? Because you are signed to Travel Channel now. It is time to step up and amp up your shit and make
Your big
yourself
boy pants
look like a
on.
filmmaker. Like, you've got to, like, it's time to move away from YouTube. Like, YouTube's done. That chapter of your life's over, and I think he retired from it, like, after he got signed on to Ghost Adventures. They haven't even uploaded. So he's got to move away from the YouTube stuff. Like, that is where YouTubers get bad feedback. Because they get stuck in the YouTube thing of like vlogging and here and it's fun. Like if he were to like upload his own channel of like his daily life, do the like, you know, vlog footage, fine, do it. But you're on Travel Channel, buddy. It's time to take this serious. And even as a producer, you have somewhat control over the cinematography. And he's got to start speaking up. And he's got to start taking himself more serious.
He needs to stop playing it safe for sure.
Yeah.
And he has the potential to make it really good, but he needs more bodies on set. And, you know, he needs to start putting his big boy pants on.
Here's
when it
what
comes
I
to the
think
show.
happened. I think he went into this, even with season 1, getting signed. And I think that he was like, you know, Cat, you've seen our budget.
Yep.
It's not little.
No.
Say that. You're talking about doing 12 or 14 episodes, something, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. That's why you need investors like Zach Bagans or whoever else.
True.
And it's not cheap. But so what I think Dakota did was they were like, well, give us a budget. And he's thinking, oh my God, like I'm pretty much signed. I just have to get the budget. So he literally put the most minimal budget. And that's such a mistake for a filmmaker. Like you have to shoot higher and then come down from there. It's like any sort of negotiation. Like if you're trying to negotiate the price of a car, you always shoot higher and then start coming down. You can't start down here and then work your way up. Because it's a mentality of like, how much do you think you're worth? $5 or 10 million? If you tell somebody $5, they're going to be like, great, let's do this. $5, right, we're good to go. And I think that's with the budget of him not having anybody else on set, no cinematographers, no PAs even, no other producers to make sure Alex doesn't die in the middle of nowhere.
God, that was so sad.
That's a problem. You've just screwed yourself. Don't ever shoot that under on a budget. Like it's easier to come down from money and start making cuts than it is to go back up. It's a huge mistake. Yeah. And I think they're stuck now. Like they're probably going to have to stay like this till at least season 3 or 4 if they keep making it. If they don't get in trouble for almost letting Alex die. And that's it. I don't know.
Yeah. Nikita asked another question. Wouldn't Travel Channel tell them to change it up, or is that on them to switch it up?
It would. Okay, so the network doesn't really have a say. So the network may step in and say, oh, we saw Alex almost died. Don't do it again or we're done. Because the liability, the liability means if Alex dies on set, his entire family can sue Travel Channel for millions of dollars, which means that's money that Travel Channel is losing. Let's just say millions of dollars is nothing to them. I've seen like networks and EPs throw around millions of dollars like it's nothing. Okay. But still, that cuts somebody's paycheck if they're being sued for $10 million for a faulty death, okay? So they can be warned by the network. But as far as someone stepping in and saying, I don't like how this is being shot, the only people that would have that say-so is A, producers, and B, especially executive producers, because the executive producers are the ones funding it. So Zach could step in and say, dude, you screwed up. You almost let Alex die. Now it's on national television. So the smart thing as an EP for Zach would be, because he would also get hit on the hands by Travel Channel. Travel Channel say, Zach, you're the EP on this. Why are you letting them do stupid shit and almost kill themselves on set? We're all going to get sued if somebody dies. So the smart thing for Zach to do would say, all right, since you can't seem to handle being on set responsibly and making sure no one's dead, I'm going to forcefully set a producer on set with you now for the next season, whether you like it or not. And that's to ensure the safety of everybody. Not only safety of everybody, it's a lot cheaper to hire a producer on set for one season for $100,000 and make sure everybody's safe than for someone to die and be sued for millions. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty clear. I don't think I need to say anything else after that.
Yeah. Crazy.
Gets me so fired up. So anyway, like I'm happy for them. I am very happy for them. I hope the best for them. I don't wish them ill. I don't have a problem with them. Chelsea's still screaming. She's like, oh, I'm not going to scream as much this season. Yes, you did, Bo. You scream as hell. I don't know. I just wish Dakota would get some confidence.
Yeah.
I think that's really where all this is stemming from. He's not taking himself as a serious filmmaker. It doesn't mean he needs to be cocky and stuck up. It just means he needs to start taking this, like, this is a career now, Boo. Like, you're in second season. This is no joke. And you're right. I think they talked about the voiceover thing because we'd mentioned it before. A lot of people know my channel. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people there's been thousands of people downloading the podcast. It's gone faster on the podcast than it has with my YouTube channel, which is just crazy.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Thankful for everybody that loves the podcast. But he's got to start taking himself serious because, like, there's been people in the comments saying, like, you know, when they pull out the paperwork, it looks like homework. It looks childish. It looks amateur. And I'm concerned, you know, like, I don't want him to fail. But when I'm going to tell you the truth, I have not watched episode 4 yet because Kat told me not to. Kat is deathly afraid that when I see what happens with Alex,
triggered.
I'm going to have a meltdown, and I probably will.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to tell you the truth. Alex going out in the middle of what square footage was that place?
63,000.
63,000? Do you know
Yep.
how big that is?
Really big.
Plus levels.
really big.
Like, if they lost him in 63,000 square, 63,000 square
Yep.
feet. That's a lot. That's a huge place. They lost him. He didn't have a walkie. What if he wasn't only throwing up, it fell down a mine shaft? What if he was severely allergic to mold and he was breathing in mold and he was like almost instantly dying? Like, what if his heart rate dropped? Like, there's so many things. And he didn't have his walkie and nobody knew it. And he's sitting up there vomiting
so
by himself
bad.
and nobody knows where he is.
And when they were trying to find him, they kept going into the wrong areas of the building. They were like screaming for Alex's name, and they couldn't find him.
I am already triggered, and I haven't watched it. Okay?
I know. I was like, no, don't watch it, Krystal.
Cat goes,
Don't
"Look,
watch
Krystal,
it."
I just want you to know,
I was
don't watch the
already
new
having
episode.
a panic attack watching. It's fine.
It's seriously, it's so dangerous. And here's another question that I have with this. Don't you think you're influencing other people? Like, this is going to happen to little paranormal groups out there in the middle of nowhere. And someone's going to die from this. Someone's probably already died doing this and they don't know where they're at. You know what I mean? Like,
especially after their interview talking about it, how they wanted, it to be accessible for other people. They
you
wanted
want
to do
Alex
the
dying to be
life.
accessible for other people? No, you don't,
No,
boo.
don't.
You do not want people to be accessible to what happened to Alex, boo. You do not. That's not funny. All right, I'm just going to have a seat. I'm just going to tell my skeleton to have a seat because Jesus, take the wheel. In other news, I mean, how do you feel about that? I love them. It's just, and don't say you're not paranormal investigators. You're making it sound like in order to use equipment for paranormal investigating, it's like the hardest thing in the world and that it's expensive and complicated. And it is expensive. Like, even me starting out, do you think I started out with an SLS camera? I mean, hell no. You have to start little and get big and work towards things. But you also have to teach people to think big and, like, you can accomplish your dreams. Anything's possible. If you make people want to think down here, that's where they're going to think, is down here. You know what I'm saying?
True. It's true. And I think the other half of it, too, is just we know the potential that Dakota could have if he really applied himself and was confident. And unfortunately, him not being confident is showing in his product. And that's really difficult to watch.
It is
it's
difficult
really
to watch.
It
Well,
is.
because you're like, dude, do you know how many people would want to be where you're at right now? You are signed under Zach Bagans, you have your own series, and you're the producer on it. There's a lot of people that want to be in your shoes, babe. So please step it up, because people are counting on you. Everybody's waiting for the next big paranormal show. Everyone's burnt out on Ghost Adventures. Everybody's waiting for it. And, like, come on, boo. You got to get your confidence up. You are a filmmaker. You're not a YouTuber anymore. You're a filmmaker, period.
Right.
I'm exhausted. Anyway, moving on. Wish them luck. Please just get it together. Someone asked about Portals to Hell. They were renewed for a second season. That's Jack and Katrina. You didn't know that? Their second season's been on. I haven't watched it because I'm scared I'll pull my fingernails off. So I've decided to not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, Jack holding the millimeter up to the wall and the electrical outlet and saying the millimeter went off was enough for me. I hope he's learned from that, but I did see, it was playing though. I'm sorry. The first episode was playing with Jack Osborne. And I didn't, like, intentionally watch it. I just had, like, Travel Channel running on my TV, and I just happened to walk by, and I, like, looked at the guide to see what it was. It was the first episode, I think, of their new season. He had Sharon and Ozzy on there as guests.
Oh, Jesus.
Is he not fishing for views or what?
Yikes. Yeah.
I'm fishing. I'm fishing right now.
I'm the same way.
Will all of my dad's fans from Ozzy Osbourne please watch my show because I'm scared we'll get canceled a third season. Please, look, my dad's on my show. Will you watch it? or my mom from The View. Like, you know, it's like, dude, just have your own thing, man. Don't live in your dad's shadow, bro. Come on, you can do this.
It's awkward. It's awkward.
It was awkward because it was like, and like honestly, Ozzy and Sharon, they're sitting there on like a Skype. Like they don't look like they're like clearly supporting their son, which is great. But like, I'm just like, oh, God, I'm in pain. I'm in pain.
We should do a Booze and Reviews and watch it.
There's not enough wine in the world that could get me through one episode, Kat.
I know, but that'd be fun.
Okay, maybe we'll do that for Booze and Reviews. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we should. We should.
Okay, I'm looking. I think we have a couple other questions before we move on to aliens, because that's going to be a good chat. I mean, good one.
Okay.
Ghost Nation is pathetic. I don't think is that the Tennessee Wraith Chaser? No, Ghost Nation is Jason from Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunter. Yeah.
I don't know. I tried to watch it, but I like, what's the one dude that works with Jason? He's also from Ghost Hunters. Hang on. Just
who?
I can't remember.
Sorry.
The one. Okay, Ghost Nation has the guys from Ghost Hunters. Let me just look it up. Ghost Nation. And there's a guy on there that is just so like monotone. Dave Tango, I think that's who it is. Oh my God, his voice just kills me. I just can't, because he's like, you know, guys wanna just ba-da-da, you know, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da. It's a little monotone, and like it always has like a little curly on the end.
Is that the one that wears the hats?
Yeah, I think
like the
I don't
flat
know.
hat.
I don't. Yes, it is. And I mean, I'm not hating on him. It's just like that's hard to watch for like an entire hour of that voice. You know, you're just like, I'm cringing. I can't. Like literally.
Stop.
So yeah, I couldn't really sit through that very long because of that. They just need Jason to just, you know, pretty much talk most of the time.
Oh my God. Did you see Exploring with Larry's comment?
Wait, what?
He goes, the last Ozfest I saw, Ozzy looked half dead. Ozzy lost
Poor Ozzy. Look, man, I love the Post Malone song with Ozzy. Like, it's one of my faves.
Me too.
So good.
It is so good.
Ashley said Alex became the camera operator to not investigate, and they threw him under the bus. I think Alex is actually really intuitive, don't you, Kat?
He is so funny too. But yeah, no, he is, because when he walked into that location, what I was telling Krystal was he knew something bad was going to happen.
Yeah.
To him before he even went up, because you could tell that even before all of the other, you know, episodes, he never had a problem or said he felt weird.
Right.
He was always like the guy that was joking, or kind of like the Aaron Goodwin of the,
right.
You know, and to see him be really that adamant on saying like, I'm not liking this. Like,
see, I think they have a mistake by just having Alex as camera tech, because that dude should be like the front of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he's also the funnest to watch. If I get signed Alex Boo Boo, I won't be calling you. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I feel bad for Katrina. She's an OG in paranormal games. She's always in crappy shows. Man, it's the truth. I feel bad for Katrina. She's with Jack Osborne right now on what is it called? She's had so many shows, like Jesus Take the Wheel. But yeah, she gets the short end of the stick. It's really sad. She also got screwed with Nick Groff and Elizabeth Saint.
It does with Nick Groff.
So bad.
We won't even go there.
Let's not talk about Nick Groff. You know, actually, I've forgiven him. He's not sorry, but I've forgiven him, and
I haven't.
I've moved on from that. Look, Kat, part of my like self-help was saying I forgive you, Nick Groff. I am moving on with my life.
Doesn't mean I have to. Doesn't mean I have to. My Aries.
Oh my God. Jack Osborne is no investigator. He still walks around with equipment and lights on. Yeah, he's probably scared. I mean, honestly, like, you know, I just...
Wait, who?
Jack Osborne, when he investigates, he usually leaves the lights on.
Aww.
It bothers me, though, because you're just like...
Weird.
I mean, you can get evidence with the lights on, but, like, I think they're less intimidated to walk up to you with the lights off. I think I have a lot of theories, though, from investigating all these years, but it's kind of like, why are the lights on, babe? Are you nervous? It's okay if you're nervous, but just tell us if you're nervous. You know what I'm saying?
I can't.
God. Ghost Nation is rebranded Ghost Hunters. Once again, Tango, I struggle with Tango. And, like, he's not a bad dude. He's just...
No.
Ozfest, like keep going through here.
So much That's so
The last
sad.
Ozfest I've seen, Ozzy looked half dead. Ozzy lost it a long time ago. Well, those drugs are a killer, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do drugs, kids. Ozzy is
Don't.
probably
Don't
the
eat
perfect
bats
example why you
either.
shouldn't do drugs.
Wasn't he the one that ate like the bat head or something like that? Wasn't that
It
on
was
stage?
an accident. He didn't
Was
know
it?
it was alive. I don't know. Look, let's not talk about bats after coronavirus, okay? Like, that'll
Oh my
trigger me.
god! Oh, I didn't even.
People are sick, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's true.
Let's see. That's it. Okay. Dear Jesus, not Elizabeth Saint. Nope. Not saying that either. I'm just letting that go to Jesus. Okay. Moving
Don't
on.
even get me started.
Cat's like, don't trigger me. Yeah, what happened to them after that? I think I may have accidentally helped in their career a little bit. Sorry about that, boo boo. I guess y'all should have showed up to my school. Anyway, let's just get on. Let's move on to. Sorry, maybe that was my healing tea, my like last
Shots
sprinkle.
fired.
I know. I'm sorry. Maybe
It's
they
great.
shouldn't have stalked me in Las Vegas, and we'd be fine. All right,
Yeah.
I promise I'm done. I promise I'm done. I'm just gonna stop.
I'm not done.
Aliens. Aliens.
Aliens. Yes.
Okay, Kat, how did you find this documentary?
I found it on Netflix. Actually, funny story. I was crocheting and wanted a documentary to watch.
Of course you
So-
were crocheting. Look at my
Of
shocked face.
course. So I was like, I want some alien documentary stuff. to
You're
go
like,
down.
I am knitting, so you know what I'm gonna do? Watch some outer worldly beings hang out with
Yep.
me while I'm knitting.
I think, what was it called? Exploring the Unknown. What was it called? It was
Now you made me forget. Oh, come on.
unknown something. It's unknown something, but it's on Netflix. I have a picture of it on my phone. So I'll,
Unacknowledged.
like, add it.
Unacknowledged.
What?
Unacknowledged.
Unacknowledged.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh. Anyway.
So
Yeah,
you
it's
watched
really-
this first, and then you were like, Krystal, you have got to
Yeah.
watch
I watched
this.
it and I was like, Crystal's gonna love this because it just really showed a different perspective regarding UFO and like intelligent life.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do we start from that?
So, I will say that if you watch Unacknowledged on Netflix, there's going to be a boring couple of first minutes. I don't really understand why the first 2 or 3 minutes is just strictly like old military footage. I think it's a little drawn out, and it's kind of like you're sitting there like, wait, is this like a military documentary or is this a UFO documentary? You're just kind of like, I don't know what's going on. But it does start to make sense after. It's a ton of military officials and like ex-CIA agents and officials that have worked in what they called the lower black levels of undisclosed government. I'm trying to figure out societies. I guess you could call it a society, right? And I'm not talking about the Illuminati. I'm not talking about all these conspiracy groups out there. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about they are being paid billions and trillions of dollars for actual UFO investigative work, and they have been hired to stage and hide credible UFO evidence. Okay?
Yeah. And I think what's even crazier, I was going to touch on...
not necessarily Men in Black. They're not necessarily Men in Black. We'll talk... There's some different sections, and we'll kind of talk about that here. It's really good. I'm going to say that. If you're interested in alien stuff, really should watch this. Okay, go ahead.
It's really good. I think the thing that really creeped me out the most was not only are these like factions and these investigative groups like really, really classified, and they're using like tax dollars for it, to fund everything, which is a whole other... they are also not able to disclose the information even to like presidents. And they went.
Hang on a
they
second.
went as far.
Someone's asking you about your Cthulhu.
What? Oh, they are.
Your knitted Cthulhu.
Oh, hey! Thank you. Life in fun size.
Let me go grab mine. Just 2 seconds, literally.
You want to go grab it?
You'll hear me talking still.
I'm gonna put my. Hang on one sec, guys. This is a business thing. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta keep this going.
All right. I'm right here. I came back. See, it took me 2 seconds.
If anyone needs a Cthulhu, I'm just saying.
Look
Hit me.
at this cute ass little Cthulhu. It has little mold spots growing on it. It has little wings. Oh my god. Is that the cutest Cthulhu ever? I
love it
got
so much.
this for my birthday from Cat. Is that the cutest freaking thing ever? Oh, the mold.
I love it.
Look at that. It's so cute.
Isn't it cute?
Her number one
I'm taking
sellers on Magic
custom-
Loops, that's the business she owns, are her little stuffed animals. Are those the cutest thing ever? Ugh.
I love that.
Oh, wait, I'm not done. I got a pastel
Oh, wait. You have to-
mini ghost. Is that the cutest effing thing you've ever seen? Anyway, yeah, those were my birthday presents. So if anybody wants one, Kat knits these literally by hand. She gets so many orders in, guys, like so many freaking orders. But where's your what's your website, Kat? I'll just type it in. www.
Magic MAGICK loops.com.
Oh my god, she does. These are her number one sellers. Are her
They're
lists? Aren't
cute.
they cute? Oh my god,
They're so cute.
Anyway,
I
that's
know.
all.
I'm just saying,
I
y'all
just-
need custom orders. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, she
I
does
got you.
custom orders. She's doing these really cute dragons right now. She is talented. Like, anyway, I just had to drop that.
Aw.
So yes, I have a Cthulhu in my
Thanks.
office. Just it protects me. It comes out of the ocean when Rona's here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's protecting me right now.
You know, it's
Okay,
cute.
back to aliens. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay.
I forgot what I was saying.
we just said again. same
okay.
thing.
So, yeah. So this like weird faction or investigative group can't even disclose the information to presidents because presidents to them are considered temporary employees. And when I heard that, I was like, my brain
Wait a second,
just
pause.
exploded.
The president of the United States is not allowed
Yes.
to know about like major alien activity because they are a temporary employee.
Correct. And
My
that's the key.
brain exploded because it actually makes sense.
It does. It does.
Actually
and it's messed
makes
up.
sense. It's messed up.
It's messed up. They even involved like stuff with Marilyn Monroe and everything about it. Like that's how messed up it is. It's messed up. It's costing people's lives.
All
Literally.
right, are you okay? Because you seem a little fired up right now.
It's hot in here and I'm wearing a sweater. I'm just letting you know.
Do you want to step out for a second? Because I can
No,
take
no.
your screen off. Okay.
No, it's fine.
And if you want to change or whatever. Okay.
My Aries is fine. I'll just
I know. I feel like your Aries is like full out right now.
Actually, I could probably put my fan on. Let me put my fan on.
So
Continue.
basically, there's this guy named Steven who I'm following on social media. By the way, let me look him up so that I can give you guys the actual like his tag. Are you okay?
Yeah, we're fine. Everything's fine.
Are you sure? Like I just
Yep,
feel
we're
like-
just rolling. This is live.
Okay.
Live, folks.
Dr. Stephen Greer, and it's at Dr. Stephen Greer. You spell it Stephen, Steven, Greer, Greer. Okay. He is one of the like main narrators that's talking about this. He's the one that has created this. He called it like interacting peacefully with interstellar civilizations. Okay. So basically, there's so much in this. Like I can't even cover it all. Basically, the United States is one of the most large, obviously, countries in the world. And it is one of the only countries that is really locked down about admitting alien life exists out there. They don't want to admit it, not because of creating fear. What's that noise?
Why my fan? Is my fan?
It sounded like someone was in my studio and nobody's in here. Hello.
I swear to God, if it's Bob,
Can I help you?
we're
Can you
gonna have
not
some
interrupt the
problems.
stream right now? I need a little bit here. Just have a
What was
seat.
it?
I don't know. Nobody's in here. I mean, I was like, what is that?
It sounded like there's a male talking.
What?
Did anyone else hear that? I don't know. If y'all heard it, leave it in the comments. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, hoes be doing hoe things.
Look, you know what? Bob needs to chill. I thought he was laid off after his coughing incident on the phone.
Bob
I'm
is
just
the
saying
guy
it.
that taps our phones. We've heard that happen before.
We've heard
Okay.
it multiple times. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Bob's an idiot. Okay, so basically what they're saying in the documentary is they have attempted, and in my opinion, successfully succeeded at making fear or instilling fear in the Americans' head about UFOs and aliens because they already have access to alien technology. They already have access to things that are like more important than Tesla. You don't have to plug your car in to drive it if we were like activating our civilization in this direction. You don't even have to have solar panels. And basically, they are hiding it from us. The government of America is hiding it because they don't want coal to go out of operation, because we wouldn't need it anymore. There wouldn't be any more pollution. We wouldn't even have to worry about pollution. We wouldn't have, and I'm not necessarily talking about like flying cars, but just think of having access to energy that's already here. We don't even have to do anything, and build things that you don't even need to plug it in. You don't need batteries. You don't need even solar panels. Like, the energy that's already here, we can access it, which makes sense to me, honestly.
It does. But, and everyone is in it for a quick buck.
It is. It's all about the money. And obviously, these weird secret underground society things that not even the president knows about, or he can't know about it because he's a temporary employee, is costing tax dollars. And these documents were shown. It's costing like billions and trillions of tax dollars from United States citizens. And it's going to these weird societies that are taking care of covering up. I'm still hearing noises in here. It's taking care of covering up things like when there is alien interaction, or when things happen, or when there is like a crash. So for example, they're talking about Roswell. Roswell happened in 1947, I think, which was when they were doing hydrogen bomb tests in the desert outside of Roswell, New Mexico. The reason they think the aliens crashed is because they were there watching us blow things up. And they wanted to know why we were not only blowing things up, are we possibly a threat to other species in outer space? Why are we killing ourselves? And why are we killing our planet? They wanted to know, why are we wanting to willingly explode our planet, and why are we trying to kill ourselves? And then this ship crashed. Supposedly there were 3 aliens, 2 died. One of them was alive, and it died in 1952. They flew the 2 dead ones along with the live one to some podunk little town in Ohio, of all places, because they thought no one would suspect it. Eventually, the alien did die due to injuries, I assume, in 1952.
Yeah. And they even talked in detail, like the people that were working there, some of them that were on the documentary, they were even talking in detail about what they looked like. Mm-hmm. They all had the same description.
Yes. So
facial features, everything.
They're saying that aliens other life forms do have weird things, such as no ears, just like an orifice, or no nose, just orifices. But generally speaking, they do look like us. And basically, the image of the so-called little green or little gray alien, what we know of, which is a big head and like giant eyes, was created by the government to make us fear contacting the outside world. Which makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. But if Paul does exist from the movie Paul, I'm okay with that too, because Paul's hilarious.
I'm on a crochet Paul.
Oh my God, crochet me a Paul.
I'm gonna crochet Paul.
Oh my God. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna do it.
That movie is hilarious. So basically, they were saying some things that were really interesting that really stuck out to me, such as people are so afraid of an alien invasion. They're so afraid, like, if you make contact with an alien, they're gonna probe you up the butt, or they're going to take you and do like weird things on their ships, right? Like they're gonna dissect you, maybe impregnate you. Like they have all these weird, scary tactics. But basically, they're saying like if they wanted to come here and blow up the world, they already have the technology to do it. So why haven't they done it yet? And then you kind of sit back and you're like, you're right. I'm not really scared of that anymore, because they could have done it by now.
It's true.
It is true. I mean, how'd you feel about it?
They even talked about how a lot of things have been orchestrated and
orchestrated. That's a good word.
People, that the government or the people that are part of this that is research has actually been infiltrated us people based off of people seeing UFOs, crediting them as being hillbillies, not smart. The video isn't clear, so how could it be a UFO type of thing? To try to like get us to not believe it.
Right.
Essentially, to just keep.
Well, and you also, it makes people not want to talk about having alien interactions or seeing a UFO because people are just going to say you're crazy, it's a little green man, or like you're making it up or whatever.
Yeah.
So they've created like a fear phobia within us and within each other that everybody's afraid to talk about because if you talk about aliens, you're crazy, right?
Right, exactly. And they created that.
Yes.
And what's even crazier is, you know, and you'll see it in the documentary. See it, but towards the end of the documentary, they were even talking trading and alien invasion.
Yeah, so they're saying that there was one guy that was brought over from Germany who was extremely intelligent. He also had access to alien technology, and when he was brought here to America, he helped recreate all of these alien technologies. They're saying in the documentary, anything that you've seen on the movies, such as like a triangular shaped, aircraft with like the lights on it, or even like the round oval saucer, anything you've seen, our government has already created it because they've learned how to recreate it from the crashes. They've taken different crashes and they've taken those apart and they've already learned how to create those. So what he was saying was the alien technology already exists in the United States. We've already recreated it. And if there was this guy who was helping recreate all of this stuff, saying that there's conspiracy theories regarding Iraq and Afghanistan, he claimed those on his deathbed before any of them happened, saying that those conspiracies were already in plan, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? And that they were going to happen. And the final thing after Iraq and Afghanistan that was going to happen was going to be a staged alien invasion. And it's once again to recreate fear in aliens. Wherever the invasion is going to happen, nobody knows. And it's going to create fear that we won't want to contact aliens or the outside world. But it's not going to be aliens that does this. It's going to be the government that does it. It's going to be a staged alien invasion from the government to once again it's their final straw to try to recreate the fear.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's crazy. And the guys that were showing the drawings of it are all declassified now. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, and the main guy that they were interviewing created a site that's kind of like the black. I know we've talked about the black vault, how it has a lot of.
It's so weird. Your audio cuts in and out since we've been talking about aliens. I think it's Bob. We make fun of Bob. Bob is somebody that taps our phones. We hear our phones being tapped once in a while.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, but it's just, Bob, you can just F off, man. Just kidding.
Chill out. But they're even saying, too, that the cattle mutilations that happen are all orchestrated as well.
Yes, they're saying there's an actual sector of people that do all of the mutilations. And it is an Air Force sector who are like surgeons that do it. And they've been hired to do it to, once again, create fear. They stage the mutilations and like the animal. It's basically to throw the public off from what's actually happening. The reason they're coming forward with this information is that they're saying they have had actual alien encounters. And the aliens don't want to hurt us. They want to help us. And they also want to understand why our civilization is one of the only civilizations like in the universe, galaxy, whatever you want to call it, that has been stuck in the same place for the last 100 years. We haven't made a whole lot of progression, guys, since airplanes were invented in cars. And they don't understand why we're not progressing because there's smart people on the planet. And the problem is what they're saying is we shouldn't be fearing the aliens. We should be fearing the government because they're withholding all of that information and they're withholding our society from progressing.
Well, and that's what makes it a threat.
And it's not just energy, it's not just cars, it's not just technology, it's not just not using solar panels. It's also medical equipment, medical supplies, the way they do medical things. Imagine, you're having, my mother having a triple bypass. She may not have had the horrible, healing process that she did afterwards, because the technology is so much easy now. People don't have to suffer the way they do. Poverty could be completely like eliminated. But once again, we're talking about money. Money talks with our government, especially in America, and they don't want to let go of the money, of what it costs. And then the millionaires become more millionaires, and then they become billionaires, and all of that would mean they would have to sacrifice, because they make money off of the oil fields, and they make money of all of these things. So it all comes back down to money. It's interesting. They also had all of these. They had a map of where the major, still to this day, encounters happen, alien encounters, and it's always near or around nuclear sites. And now, once again, we're talking about a few things here. One, Area 51, and they've obviously like put a bunch of toxic random shit down in the earth in Nevada. That's where they hide like nuclear, what's it called, like nuclear garbage, I don't know what it's called.
Like the junk pile? Or
No,
like
it's
the,
like toxic shit. They bury it like way down in the ground in Nevada, like in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
if Nevada blows up, I'm gone, guys. Bye, see you later.
Oh my god.
But like what I'm trying to say is they don't understand why we're killing our planet and ourselves. And that's why there's been so many like interactions happen, and like you see things in the sky, and there's people that have claimed they've had contact. Now on the reverse side of that, because you know I love playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
The reverse side of that is there's also a sector that a guy was interviewing from, and in that sector he worked for, he said that the US government also stages alien abductions, and they stage when people claim they're being like tortured or they were hurt by aliens. It's usually the US government. And so the interesting thing that I was like, because I'm going to be open-minded and listen to it, because I love my conspiracies too, and I love paranormal and all that stuff. He was saying, which it was really disturbing to me, that basically this sector will find Americans who are extremely deformed or have alien abnormalities, whether it's a large head or large eyes, people that are disabled, that have issues, and they will hide them, and they will pay them like a lot, like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cash, to basically act like an alien and be a part of these like alien abductions. And it's just messed up, I think. Like, you know, like society treats people that are different bad enough as it is. And now you have a sector of like the government who's saying, yeah, you look kind of like the little green man, so we need to use you like to our advantage. And
so crazy.
But what do you think that does to these people on the inside? Like they know they're different, and like they were born deformed. Now they're being used as like a pawn. Like, sure, they have money now, but like talk about like mental abuse and like psychological abuse that's going on here. Like, and now they'll probably never get out of it. What was your take on that?
It's just really sad, and it makes me, honestly.
You just cut out again. It's so freaking weird.
Really?
You did it again. Yeah, you keep cutting out. Bob.
Okay. Maybe, I'm gonna turn my fan. Maybe it's my fan. I'm gonna shut my fan off. Okay, is that better?
We'll see. We'll find out.
Oh my gosh.
Bob doesn't want to know your opinion on it.
I guess not. No, it just made me feel really gross, honestly. It's really messed up and sick.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised by any of it. But it's just really messed up. But the whole documentary is amazing. You guys should really check it out, though.
Yeah,
it's
you
really
have to
good.
watch the whole thing. There's so many things. I don't even think I can talk about it all.
There's so much. There's so much to talk
so
about.
much. But on the other power, the positive side, because these people all, they have documentation to back this up. I want to talk about Marilyn Monroe in a minute, and John Kennedy in just a minute. So remind me if I forget. But
Okay.
he is saying that like millennials and now Generation Z really don't tolerate, being told what to do. Like they don't want to be forced to like conform. And they are hoping that those two generations are going to make a change for alien contact. Like they're hoping that these sectors will eventually die off and change is coming. It's going to happen because those two generations don't stand for being silenced and being unheard, which is kind of ironical considering like the Pentagon did show that like really shitty, like blurry image of like a quote UFO last month. It's like, okay, why are we're just gonna like casually be like, oh, here's a UFO.
Yeah.
Is that them staging like the alien invasion? You know what I mean? Like, is that what's going on here?
You just can't trust anything about it. You know, it makes you second guess.
They said that all of the major news stations are hired through these people to basically squash and seal any alien discussions. They don't want the public to see or hear. Or what they'll do is they'll take the truth and then they'll put like some sort of a joke or a twist on it so that nobody takes it serious. And it's just kind of like blow it off your shoulder. Now, it's interesting in the documentary, they do. Jessica says, I keep having problems from both of your screens cutting out. It's Bob.
It's Bob. Bob needs to chill.
They do have. What was I saying about it? My brain.
They were talking about how they take a slice of the truth and then they kind of like twist it on.
They were using Nevada news stations on the documentary. They're Las Vegas news stations. It's interesting because when I moved to Vegas, I obviously have friends like all over Vegas now, and I think I've told you guys this before. It's very just accepted the aliens exist here. It's just, It is what it is. Because of Area 51 is north. They've obviously changed the name of it now. I don't know what it is. But, like, it's just aliens exist and that's it. And, like, people that have been local to Vegas for years just accept it and it is what it is. And, like, it's not even a shock. Not even a shocking topic of conversation. It just is what it is. And our news talks about it all the time and they're not filtered. So I think that's why they were showing Las Vegas news on the documentary. I found that really, really cool and interesting.
Yeah, that was
we've had a cattle mutilation on our ranch. They're saying that this sector is people that do it. And they do it in random sporadic places. They're throwing people off is what they're trying to do. And they're also trying to create what they said a boogeyman in outer space, which I find really accurate as well.
So messed up.
And it's messed up because cattle, like, you know, I know cattle ranchers in Colorado and those are like their babies sometimes. Like cattle, like, you know, like it's a wild animal but still a farm animal. It's still like, you know, all of them by name and like that was Susie or whatever, you know, like it's horrible.
Poor Susie.
Poor Susie. So they also brought in John F. Kennedy, Bill Clinton, and Marilyn Monroe into this mix.
Yeah.
Once again, this is called Unacknowledged on Netflix. This is the documentary. So apparently, we'll start with John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy he found out about the existence of aliens, and he decided he was going to release the information to the public. He was completely like, people need to know. They're not bad. They're out here. They want to help us. They want to help our society get further than where we are now. We need to do it. And he was assassinated. There is another sector, they're saying, that if someone knows too much, no matter, even if it's the president, they will orchestrate you to be erased and disappear by any means necessary. So they believe the assassination of John F. Kennedy was orchestrated by one of these because he wanted to release information about aliens to Americans. Another one is, let's do Marilyn Monroe next. Marilyn Monroe was having an affair with Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy. Her wires were being tapped. Her phones were being tapped. The night before she passed away, her phone was tapped. They have the documentation on this as well. She was talking to one of her friends saying she was trying to force a relationship either from John or Bobby, which obviously she was having an affair. So they were both trying to cut her off. She was saying to her friend that if Bobby or John didn't want to like pursue an actual relationship, that she was going to also release information that she knew about alien technology and aliens. Also, she claimed that she'd been taken to a site where an alien spacecraft had either landed or wrecked. And so John F. Kennedy was sharing this information with her. She said that if one of them didn't want to pursue a relationship with her, that she was going to go to the press and release all the information about the aliens and information about the alien site that she visited. The next day she was found dead and it was staged to look like a suicide.
And you had said too that Marilyn was really big into like the like topics. You know what I mean?
I was obsessed. I'm still obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. I was so the very first. My natural hair color is like almost black because I'm Native American. Like it's very dark. Like I wouldn't recognize myself. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had dark hair since I was in 6th grade. I started highlighting my hair in 6th grade because I threw such a fit. My mother was like, "Fine, just do it." I wanted to be blonde forever, so the first idol that I was in love with was Dolly Parton. I thought her hair was just like fabulous. Like the bigger the hair, the higher to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And then I found out about Marilyn Monroe, and when I was in elementary school, I started studying Marilyn Monroe, and she was obsessed with the occult. She went to psychics a lot. She loved tarot readings. She believed in the afterlife. She liked to do seances. She believed she had a lot of contacts with the afterlife, and she also believed in aliens. So she was one of my faves, and I did a lot of research on her as a child, and that became one of my idols just because she liked paranormal. I was too little to understand. I didn't know, what was going on. So to find out Marilyn got thrown in this mix was very interesting. And then moving forward to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had also found out about the existence of aliens, and once again, the fact that they wanted to help us, not harm us. He wanted to release this to the public, and he was threatened with an assassination if he released the information. So he did not release the information to the public.
So bad.
As far as other presidents, they weren't really touched upon. They did make fun of secret societies in this documentary, which I actually also already felt that way and agreed with, such as the Illuminati, the Freemasons. I don't even know all of them. They touched on those. So basically they're saying, like, the question was, like, oh, do the Freemasons know, like, what they're claiming to know? Do the Illuminati, are they involved with aliens? Like, they talk that they are. And they were like, no, they make stuff up and their followers believe them. And that's just it. Like, we have hardcore facts about it. And so, I agree with that. Like, I've had a lot of claims that people are with the Illuminati approach me that want me to join. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people that. I don't know if they're real or not. I'm not supposed to say it. I'll get killed now. No. If I'm killed, y'all know who did it. Just blame the Illuminati. But I don't know. I've never had, like, the urge to do that because I think it's ridiculous. Like, how do you know what, like, your actual facts are or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, and these people that claim, like, they're part of the secret societies, like Lady Gaga and Beyonce are supposed to be part of the Illuminati, and they control your mind of, like, the media and all this stuff. Even if they are a part of it, I don't think they know what they're talking about either. I'm going to be honest. It's just how I feel.
Right.
Anyways, there's some,
Crazy.
this is a good documentary.
Y'all should watch
Unacknowledged
it.
on Netflix. It is good. It is really
Why don't
good.
do you think we could, like, do booze and reviews with that one too?
I don't think so. I have to go off. It would have to be on Amazon
it's Netflix.
Prime. Yep. It would have
Netflix,
to be
I
on
forgot.
Amazon Prime. So if it's on Prime, we can. But it's really good, guys. You really need to watch it. And honestly, so my flip on it is I used to say aliens creep me out. I don't really think so anymore.
Same.
Not only from the documentary, but I'm not gonna really. I don't know how to word this. During the time that I've been on quarantine and I've been on this self-help thing, I may have had an interaction. And I don't want to really talk about it yet. I'll probably release that story in my book. But I'm just gonna say that it was not what people think. People are in fear, and I think for absurd, ridiculous, made-up reasons. And I don't think that it's I think we have been programmed to be afraid. And I think that it's not like that at all. And that's all. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I was just saying, when I first watched the documentary, telling Krystal about it, I said I kind of felt a little bit of relief hearing it, as messed up as that kind of
You just cut out again.
What?
You just cut out again.
Oh my god.
What did you say? When I watched the documentary, I felt like...
That's weird. I said when I watched the documentary, I felt like a little bit of relief.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like when you go down that alien rabbit hole, you get really messed up and freaky.
Yeah, you can. Because there's a lot of misinformation on it. But this made more sense to me than anything ever has.
And that's why I felt better about it,
Yeah.
because it seemed more realistic and it made sense. Totally made sense.
Totally made sense.
Yeah.
And like I said, guys, that Stephen guy is on, let me find him, Dr. Stephen Greer. Someone had put in the comments, too, that apparently he's been on some other documentaries or something like that.
Oh.
But he is a doctor. He actually was like a ER doctor. And he was questioned regarding, like, afterlife and alien civilizations. And he couldn't understand why he was being, like, put under a microscope. And that is what triggered him to just be like, aliens exist. And it's not what you think it is. And here's the facts to prove it. A lot of these people do not want to come out and talk about these, like, they call them, like, black societies that are government, like, ran, because they've been threatened with death. They've been threatened to be erased, like, literally off the memory of the book. Like, you'll be, and I talked to Kat about that. Think about my friend Sean, who was in the Air Force. He had this YouTube channel that was huge. He had millions of views, unbelievable footage, because he was a pilot in the Air Force, and he had, like, literally photos and evidence of, like, being, like, up front and interactive with these ships. Like, nobody else would have this kind of footage. You'd have to be an Air Force pilot to do it. And Men in Black showed up, and he's gone. They literally had a pretend funeral for him. They literally had a pretend funeral for him. And I don't think he's done. I don't think he's dead. I think that he was taken. I think they give him an option sometimes, and Sean was very smart. And I once in a while get an email from Sean. I will probably get one every time I talk about him. I get an email from somebody that talks about Sean. And I try to respond to the email, and it goes nowhere. It's like a dead, you can't respond. So I think that's Sean letting me know he's alive and he's out there. Every time I talk about him, I'll get an email in my, like, public Krystal at Ghost Girl Diaries email. And then I try to respond, and it doesn't exist. So I think they kept him because he's so intelligent and brilliant. But his YouTube channels, everything's gone. You know, he was silenced. So
Yeah.
What do you think about everything?
No, I agree. I agree completely. It's a very good documentary.
It
There's
is.
a lot of information that we didn't even touch upon here, because so much,
There's
you know.
so much.
And
There's so
I
much.
definitely recommend, for sure. I linked it in the comments.
Oh, cool.
The Netflix link. So if anybody wants to check it out, it is in the comments. But yeah, it's wonderful.
I copied it and I pasted it, and I'm gonna put it in for you guys. The other one that Greer is in will blow your mind. So we'll have to look that up. Ashley said, so sorry, where's Lady Gaga belong to? Oh, supposedly Gaga belongs to the Illuminati. I don't know. Well, my opinion on secret societies like that is, yes, they're creepy to study, and I've gone on rabbit hole excursions. But realistically, who the hell's running them, and where do you get your information from? I like cold hard facts. I'm scientific. I want data. I want evidence. I don't want you just to tell me what you saw or said or believe. I need to know what's going on. And that's why I liked this documentary, because they had documentation from like legitimate backed up data of what's going on. And it was really worth the watch. It is about an hour and 44 minutes. Don't watch it at night, because that was my phone.
Oh my God.
That was my
Okay.
iWatch. Yeah. There
I
is,
was like,
now you're
no.
getting creeped out. That's what I did when I watched the documentary the other night. I was like, I can't sleep. Aliens, da-da-da. Like, literally. But my opinion on it is, I don't think aliens are meant to be feared. Seriously, I think that that has to start with us, so that other generations don't continue to go down this route of be afraid, scary, little green men, probing, da-da-da. Like, where did that information come from realistically? The media, films, you know, like, scaring us. Like, I need to know, like, the truth. And honestly, once again, Kat and I, we truly believe, well, I think I've met several people that are not from this planet. Or I guess I should say that are not human. Is that a better way of putting it?
We met one too.
And we met one on set. And, I mean, yeah, she had big eyes and, like, a weird little head. But, she didn't look much different from us. Did she really?
No, but it was really creepy.
No, but it was creepy. See, and I don't think it was creepy. It was just, you could, like, clearly the way she communicated, she didn't even look at us. She was, like,
I guess,
literally looking at the wall while we're trying to talk to her. That must have been how they communicate, is just not visibly, like, watching each other.
I guess what made it creepy for me was she kept referencing, like, the more specifically,
You
like,
just cut out again. Say it. Okay, Bob, have a seat. Okay, what?
I'm crept. I said, I guess what made it creepy for me was that she made references to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah. But do
Okay.
you really think the aliens are creepy?
no, probably not. Long run. I mean, they're different.
Don't you
That
think that we're hurting their feelings by being like, they're probably like, I'm not green, man. Like, you're racist.
Aw.
I'm not green. I'm just
They're
pale
not
or
tall.
whatever. I mean, like, Paul.
Not Paul.
You need to knit Paul.
I will. I'll make one for you. I'll find a
Have I
pattern.
met? Oh yeah, I think I've met several people that are not human. And come on, guys, haven't you walked on the sidewalk somewhere and walked by someone and been like, that person's not from here? And I'm not talking like I'm in Vegas and someone's from Alabama. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like, haven't you been around somebody, even energetically? You guys are all energy readers or you wouldn't be here.
Yes.
Haven't you ever been around or seen someone and you're like, that person's
Something.
definitely not from here, ho, like for sure. But that doesn't mean they're going to run over with a probe and be like, hey, it's probing time. Like, that's not what they're going to do.
Nikita, did you read her?
Nikita,
I'd
I'd
like
like to know on Earth why they chose the butt to probe. Once again, Nikita, it sounds like the government chose that for us. Of course
Which
they
is weird.
did. I feel like that's what they already do with our taxes is they use the probe. Do you know what I'm
True.
saying?
They do.
Yeah, it's
With
true.
specifically the butt.
100%. 100. Have you gotten any evidence that you've met an alien? Why do I need evidence? Are you like, you're Joe Schmo from Kokomo. I don't need evidence to show you.
We have seen on set rods.
We've seen what?
Rods. Like the
Roswell rods.
Roswell
Yep.
rods.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We've
We've
seen
seen
those on
them.
set, which is alien activity. So yes, I do have
Yeah.
proof.
We do have
Mr.
evidence.
Know-it-all. What? You what?
I said we do have evidence.
Yeah, we do have evidence, actually. I have a few of those. Actually, Bros Hotel had them all over the place. All over the freaking place. Jessica, I'm from Alabama. How did I know that? I knew somebody in here was from Alabama. See? I'm an energy reader. I'm just kidding. Jesus. Oh, my God. All
Love
right,
it.
so that is it. If anybody has any more questions, I think we're pretty much going to wrap it up. I don't have to... Who's yeah? I'm going to ask you to get out of
What?
here. Block and user. Babu. Because he's just
Where?
like running his mouth. I don't have time for it. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm trying to find the comment.
I
I'm
already
up,
got
I'm
him.
scrolled
I already
up.
blocked him. I already got him.
Oh, okay.
Bye, boo. See you later. Bye, bitch.
Bye.
Bye. Any other questions? Let's see. Nope, I don't think so. Yeah, watch the documentary. It's really good. I don't have time for crazies today. I have a lot going on.
No.
Did you see what I
Portal
retweeted
surgery.
earlier? One of the light workers I follow, watch, this is so funny. Hang on. One of the light workers I follow tweeted today and said, I'll admit that Aquarius doesn't care much about the opinions of anyone else. And I was like, oh, Aquarius is my moon sign. You're right. I don't care what anybody thinks. Like, literally.
Oh my gosh.
I'm terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So I don't know what our schedule is going to be for streaming. I'm thinking we're going to shoot for like Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of thing. Probably do like dead time on Mondays. Friday will be Haunted Huddle, and then Wednesdays will be Booze and Reviews. But don't stick me to that. We're in the process of working on social media right now, so you're going to see that amping back up. If you guys have any requests that you want to talk about, anything you want to watch with Booze and Reviews, go start leaving comments on our Facebook page at Ghost Girl Diaries, or go at us at Twitter, either Cat, what's your Twitter handle? Cat.Cormier?
Cormier Cat.
Cormier Cat, one word,
Yeah.
no dots, no anything.
No dots. No
Mine
dots.
is, I think, Crystal_Leandra, or you can get us at Ghost Girl Diaries, or on Instagram. Leave us some
Or
comments.
DM us. DM, yeah.
DM, yeah, I've been checking DMs. I haven't gotten dick pics for a while, so I'm fine with DMs now.
Holla.
Now I said that, I'm gonna get some.
Why'd you
Now
do
that
that
I
to
said that, I'm
yourself?
gonna get them. I'm like, great.
Why'd you do that?
I know. Nikita said portals to hell. Oh, come on, Nikita. You're going to kill me. I'm going to die.
They just want to see us drunk. That's what.
Yeah, she just wants to see me sling back the wines because I can get
God.
through it. You know what I'm saying? Oh my
Oh,
God.
so bad.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you're subscribed. Kat's been keeping up on Patreon posts. She's kicking butt. If you don't subscribe to our Patreon, it's awesome. Patreon.com/Ghost Girl Diaries. Make sure you're following us. And who's ready for some more streams next week? Anybody?
Me.
Are you happy we're back? Are you happy we're back? Because I'm happy
We're back.
We're back from the dead. Dun, dun.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. See, there we
just
go again.
said that
Dun, dun, dun,
at the
dun.
same
I
time.
know, Kat. It's your fault.
Stop it.
Freaking light work, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be normal, and it's just not gonna happen. Oh, and my mom, I'm hoping, will be joining us for a stream. That's gonna be a really good one. Because she has crossed over a few times, and she'll be able to talk about her weird kid. You know what I'm saying? So
True.
if you
It's gonna
guys
be
have
fun.
any questions when my mom comes on to talk about me, if you want to ask questions to my mom, you're gonna be able to ask her. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
What's
you're
wrong?
gonna be able to ask. You're gonna be able to ask those
I know, you're going to
questions.
be able to ask questions. Great. And if I don't like the questions, I won't ask her them. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. Oh my God. That'll be, my mom's cool though. She's very sarcastic, sense of humor, a lot. Probably that's where I got it from, I'm sure. And so you guys, she's probably going to have some dry, sarcastic things to say. And you'll be like, oh, it all, the full circle now makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like Krystal's whole life makes sense now. But my mom's cool. I love my mom. She's supported me always with what I've done, and that's it. Heart,
Amazing.
you guys. Heart, you guys. I'm glad to be back. This is the little ghost mascot
Fun.
that Cat knitted. He's glad to be back.
Which one?
Your little ghosty. Your little
Oh,
ghosty.
they're so cute. I love them.
And yes, you can order any of her stuff. I think someone asked about custom colors. Yes,
Yes.
any of her stuff is custom ordered. You have to DM her on Magic Loops, all of her stuff.
Yep.
You just have to talk to her, and she runs her shit, and that's it. And
That's it.
oh, my mom, someone said, yeah, mom's doing good. She's a fighter, man. She's like, bad bitch. She's like, I'm not going down like this. Let me tell you something. So yeah.
She's strong.
She is.
She's so strong.
She's had a lot of spiritual awakenings herself through all these surgeries and stuff like that. So anyways, love you guys. We'll see you next week. Make sure you're following us on social media. Turn notifications on so you know when we're streaming. We're going to work out the times. I don't know yet. And as always, we will catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.